Hey everybody, it's Sam again. So this is now update number 3. Cup of coffee number 4 since getting home, if you want any idea how this works. I'm gonna take these off just because they glare. Um, Up until this point, all of my videos have been unrehearsed. I just kind of turned the camera on and started talking. This one I actually have an outline for. It's still not rehearsed, but I had some things I wanted to cover, so I'll tell you what I have written down. I have, hi everyone who's never met me, how to think of things, what's important to you, keep writing no matter what, being a hermit, my writing nest, being yourself, publishing, and marketing. So this video is mostly going to focus on how I work as a writer, sorta, as well as some other things, and not so much of the plot. So if you just want the plot, you can go ahead and skip this one. It's not really that important. I'm trying to get you to understand me in this one and how this works, because some of my friends want to know that, so I'm going to tell you. So, hi everyone who's never met me. This is kind of exciting. I realize that when you add somebody on Facebook, you see their face, but you don't ever get to hear their voice or see them move or ever meet them. I have 806 friends. I probably only know like 200 of them. The other 600 I met on games. So I just wanted to say hi, this is me. I keep wishing that Frankie would do something like this because she's Scottish and I really want to hear her voice. And I want to hear her say things like numpty and nay and all these other weird things that Scottish people say. Because I love accents and I am sure that she is hilarious, but she's too shy and she won't let me. How to think of things. So when you're trying to think of a story, there are certain things that work for certain people. For me, that happens to be driving around or going out and about, generally speaking. When I'm driving, I actually is my best thinking time. I don't know why. It's just like part of my brain is occupied and the rest of it is just thinking of things. I even shut the radio off, which is weird because I love the music, but I shut the radio off and I just think about things. This is actually what I try to tell people is one of the most important things about writing. When you sit down and write, great, but honestly, most of my work is done thinking-wise. I do all my thinking beforehand, and that way when I get home and I have the time to write, I already know where I'm going with it. So all of that thinking time is important. For me, I think the best with coffee. There's a theme here. I love coffee. And for those of you who thought that I was kidding when I said it was serious business, it's serious business. I can't live without my coffee. I can function, but if I want to be at my best, I need to have coffee. So there's that. What's important to you? So I was actually in my recent writing update, which, as if you remember from the last video, you can go to my writing updates and subscribe by saying, I want to know about your writing updates. I'll add you to the list. But I was talking about what's important to you. If you're writing a story and there are certain things, like how do you be excited about a story? Like what is it that gets you going on it? For me, that's because I want to, there are certain things that I want to impart upon a reader as far as the characterizations and the lessons to be learned, because there's no story without a moral. George R.R. Martin will tell you there's no story without religion, and that's kind of true too. But for me, there are certain things that are near and dear to my heart that I kind of want to impart upon a reader. One of them, as I mentioned in the last video, is bullying. I always wanted to write a story that somehow tried to convey the fact that bullying is really bad. I was a substitute teacher and I saw it all the time, and I think that it's horrible that kids can go to school and they're suddenly not protected and they get bullied because kids can be so cruel, and it doesn't even stop when you get home because there's social media. So I kind of wanted to have a lesson there, and in my story you'll see that it's Adaric because he just looks different. So that's definitely an issue. I like to put social issues into my story because people will talk about stories, their favorite stories, like A Song of Ice and Fire, also known as Game of Thrones for those of you who haven't read the books. People keep talking about this on Facebook and with their friends and with their family, and in my last note, I said, what is it that you want people to talk about when you write a story? Because there's a chance that your writing will become famous, and you might have hundreds, thousands, millions of fans maybe, and they're going to group up and discuss your story. And what is it that you want them to talk about? And for me, it's a bunch of social issues that I'm really interested in, and bullying is one of them. homosexuality is another one that I think is very important. And, you know, in our world, you can kind of see it's progressing, that people are generally more accepting of this, but in literature, generally, you don't see much of that, especially not in main characters. A good example is my sister's favorite writer, Mercedes Lackey, has a book about, or a series where, like, the main characters are gay, and it's a really good story. The first one's called Magic's Pawn. I think it's called The Heralds of Valdemar. That's a good one. But I've always wanted to write a gay character, and the reason is because I want people to focus on what the character is good at more than who they're sleeping with. Because what you want in a hero is someone who saves the world and is self-sacrificing and really badass. You shouldn't really care about who they're having sex with, and so that's always kind of one of the things I've wanted to do. But then there's also things in my story like slavery and power, corruption, and love and marriage and all these things. And so what you want to do when you're writing a story is talk about things that are important to you, because that's what you're really excited about, right? Like, that's what you want to talk about, so talk about it. Keep writing no matter what. So this is something people are like, some of my friends tell me that they want to write. They're like, I want to be a good writer, and I really want to get into writing again, but then they just don't. Like with anything, if you want to be good at it, man, you got to keep practicing. Like, just write something. It doesn't have to be good. You don't have to show it to anybody. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to make sense. Write a sentence, write a paragraph, write a short story, follow a prompt, write a long story, write how your day went, keep a journal, just whatever you do, just keep writing. And if you can't write, then read, because reading is the second best practice you can ever get, because when you are reading, you're seeing other people's writing, and you can pay attention to what it is in their writing that is working for you as a reader. And when you pay attention to that, then you know to put it in your own stories. Like for George R. R. Martin, what is it that makes George R. R. Martin special? Everybody knows George R. R. Martin, right? He's the guy that did A Song of Ice and Fire. Now, what I think makes George R. R. Martin special is two things. Number one, all of his characters are morally gray. They're all good and they're all bad. And none of them are wholly good or wholly bad. Well, wholly bad, actually, yeah. There's Joffrey and there's Ramsay. Both of them are terrible. But gray characters is one. And a willingness to kill off fucking anybody is the other one. That's what makes him different. You gotta be different, too. And the only way you're gonna do that is by studying what it is that other people are doing that makes them different and determining what is important to you. Alright, being a hermit. I am very fortunate in the fact that my husband is also sort of a hermit. When I sit down and I write, I am gone to the world. There is nothing here. You cannot get a hold of me until you say my name. And then I'm like, huh? But I will shut myself into my room and shut the door and put headphones on and crank music and drink coffee. And then when I'm in this mode, there is no reaching me for hours. And like I said, I'm lucky because my husband plays League of Legends and he does the exact same thing except video games. So that's okay. My writing nest. I will shake the computer for a second here. This is where all the magic happens. This is my room. It's not much, and in fact it's kind of messy. And I'm sitting on my bed right now, and I'm getting my coffee. This is my area. I also have a chair, and it's just me and my computer and my coffee. And this is what works for me. I also sometimes have my dog here cuddling me, but she's over there staring out the window because she's being weird. Set up your own writing space, make it super comfortable, remove all of your distractions. In fact, for the month of NaNoWriMo, Frankie and I have a pact to not be on Facebook ever, except on Fridays, and only if we've reached our word count goal for the week. So I'm not even going to be on Facebook in November, except maybe to do this. I haven't decided, but that's my writing nest. Being yourself. Okay, this is a fun one. So my whole life, and most people's whole life, you spend kind of trying to be the person you want to be and creating an image and a reputation for yourself. Sometimes that involves you hiding things about yourself you're not quite proud of. Why are you not proud of it? That's my question. So I've always been a nerd. I'm proud of it now. I wasn't, because it made me weird, right? I've always loved dragons and magic. I haven't ever read anything except fantasy on purpose, because I like fantasy. My brain is working all the time, and I always have to think about things, and it wears me out. So when I come home and I'm doing something for fun, I read fantasy, because that is when I have to stop thinking about the real world and I get to immerse myself in that one. That is why I read fantasy. But what I'm trying to say is, you've got things that other people are judging you for, like maybe you like anime, and some people think that anime is dumb or weird. It's not really their business, is it? If it's your favorite thing, stick to it. Read whatever you want. Watch whatever you want. If somebody tells you it's stupid, don't worry about it. Because the reality is, there's like 7 billion people in the world now. All of us have different thoughts and feelings and things that make us happy. And if it makes you happy, then fuck it. Just do it. For me, that is writing and reading and watching anime and playing video games. And I'm not ashamed of it. So if people think that's weird, then people think that it's weird. If you're going to write a story, put what you want in it. Currently I'm having sort of a moral dilemma relating to how much romance, love, and sex I want to put in there, because a lot of my family are my Facebook friends, and a lot of my coworkers are my Facebook friends, and maybe I don't want them to know that about me. Maybe I do. I'm actually still trying to figure out if I want to publish under a pen name, just for that reason. But it is what it is. I'm 26. Shit happens. And I'm going to put what I want in there. And if you don't like it, you don't have to read it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can do that too. If you have a love, just love it. It's fine. It doesn't matter to anybody but you. Really in your own time, this is your life. 99% of the time, it is what you want it to be. So it's okay. Publishing. This is getting to be a really long video, but publishing and marketing are my last 2 points. So I've never published before. Trying to publish in the past has typically been prepare a manuscript, submit it to an editor, and hope that they like it and want to do something with it, and then they publish it. Well, nowadays we have the internet and Amazon, and you can self-publish online. So that's kind of the route I've been looking at. I've checked out 2 currently. I've checked out CreateSpace, which is a subsidiary of Amazon and allows you to publish straight to Amazon with ebooks and real books. However, what I've found with that is, although it doesn't actually cost you anything, based on your page count, they take a lot in the way of royalties. So I was actually aiming at 350 pages-ish, but since I already have 100 and I'm not even back to where I was when I was writing with Chaos, I'm projecting it's probably going to be more along the lines of 1,000 pages. If I wanted to publish that as a book, I'd probably have to charge you about 30 or 40 bucks to make even 14 cents on a single copy. So I'm probably not going to do that anymore. So I was talking to Frankie, and she suggested one called Smashwords, and that's the one I'm looking into now, which is all ebook, no text whatsoever, and it seems to be that you make more royalties on it, and you can even publish some for free. So what I'm thinking of doing is splitting my story into several parts, releasing the first one for free to hook people, and say, hey, look, this is me, I'm new, take a chance, it doesn't cost you anything, read my first one. And if you like it, then you can buy all my subsequent ones, which will be like $3 a piece, and I'll make like $1, and that's fine. That's where I'm at with publishing, and if you're interested in what's going on with publishing, you can go ahead and send me a message or comment below, and I'd be happy to answer. And then the last one I have on my list today is marketing. And as I had said in a previous video, I was watching a guy's YouTube series about how to use CreateSpace, and he was talking about how his wife spends her day, and she writes 10 to 12,000 words a day, and then spends the rest of the day pretty much marketing herself on social media, which is actually, that is what spurred me even doing videos in the first place. I'm trying to get people's attention. Hi everybody, I'm writing a book. Eventually it's going to be finished, and I'm going to need people to buy it, because otherwise it's just a waste of time. So that's the beginning of the videos. So this is me asking you to pay attention to me. Eventually I'm going to publish, and I'm hoping that some of you at least will read it and give me your 14 cents Any questions, just go ahead and get a hold of me, and I think that's going to be it for me for today. It's only 7 cups of coffee, and it's only 5:30 in the afternoon, so I'm going to spend the rest of the night writing and seeing if I can catch up to where I need to be before November starts. If you have anything you want me to address in a future video, questions or whatever that I can discuss here, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And yeah, this has actually been pretty fun. See you next time.